Looks like we're live. Bum, bum. I think we're going to talk about not that. So how's it going, John?
Good. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing really well.
Yeah, it's our last recording of the year. For I know this isn't coming out today, but this is the last one for this year.
Yeah, this one's coming out around January 15th, actually.
Well, then, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Might be January 13th. I have a list on in the background here somewhere, but
Yeah.
we might as well. Welcome back to Silicon Scoop, everyone, where we talk about tech and news and startups and all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world. And apparently this week, there's a new way of mapping the brain that they want to use, and let's infect it. What's going on here?
Yeah, so we're going to be using some big words here, guys, so just bear with us. We're not biologists by any means or doctors, but researchers at the Salk University, what they did was they developed what they're calling a cutting-edge neurotechnology called single transcriptome assisted rabies tracing. Yes, you heard that, rabies. Its acronym is START. And the tool combines two advanced technologies. It combines monosynaptic rabies virus tracing and single-cell transcriptomics to map the brain's neural connections, apparently with ridiculous precision. So the way that START works, and we're going to use START because it's so much easier to say, it uses a modified rabies virus to trace connections between neurons, which is really cool. And so this technique apparently provides a high-resolution mapping of brain cell subtypes and their connections. So kind of scary, really interesting. What are your thoughts on this, Craig?
It looks like it's going to take us leaps forwards when we're talking about mapping the brain. But anytime they start talking about, hey, let's just infect you first because that's how you do it, I start to get a little worried about what we're doing here. It sounds like we're at the beginning of, when they're doing vaccines and shooting stuff into you, which turns out in the end is great, but you don't want to be part of those first trials. So
for those of you that don't know, like we've barely scratched the surface of the brain. Okay. So like for those of you that think, oh, well, why is this new and whatnot? Like we haven't been able to fully map the brain at a usable resolution. Would that be accurate to say, you think, Craig?
Yeah.
Now, there's other techniques that have advanced our understanding of brain function, like fMRIs, functional MRIs, and optogenetics. But apparently this goes way beyond that with more detail and way more precision, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds like a scene from a horror movie, where we're just going to do this. And next thing you know, everyone's grabbing their garlic and holy water and hiding out because we've got zombies or vampires or whatever. Because, it's always our scientists that cause those things. But researchers propose that by studying how viruses interact with their brain cells, we could unlock insights into complex thought processes that have long puzzled scientists. Imagine a virus as that one friend who overstayed their welcome at a party. Initially annoying, but perhaps they open up a whole new perspective on how fun it is to actually explore your inner thoughts when you start thinking about it.
Yeah. This is crazy. There's potential for, so the cool thing with this is there's a potential for developing potentially more targeted therapies for neurological disorders. There's also the enhanced ability to study pathogenesis of neurodevelopment and neurodegenerative diseases. And there's also applications in preclinical drug testing using patient brain organoids, so there's a lot of positive potential outcomes. And again, just like Elon Musk's Neuralink, there's a lot of positive outcomes. But to what end? What are the risks? what where like does the benefit outweigh the risk?
Yeah, and we've talked about organoids in a couple of different podcasts for different things where we're growing them and two, using them as power sources, or um, putting chips on them and controlling them, which is, weird stuff. But the world of neuroscience has always been controversial. If we take a trip back to the Cold War, where unethical experiments were conducted to see how pathogens influence cognition, and jump forward to today, and we stand at the crossroads where the potential to enhance the human intelligence through viral research raised a lot of ethical questions. It's like deciding whether to use science to cook a gourmet meal or create a science experiment gone wrong. What, is it going to work? And again, this sounds like a nightmare where we're going to enhance your intelligence by putting this stuff in you after we map the brain and we do stuff. It feels wrong. But then again, I imagine the people developing penicillin from mold, it felt wrong.
Yeah, but the difference here is penicillin from mold didn't infect the brain with a virus.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Institutions like Stanford and MIT are diving into this murky pool of research. They believe that by manipulating brain functions with carefully controlled viruses, we could shine a light on conditions like Alzheimer's, even multiple sclerosis. But here's where it gets sticky. What's the trade-off? Understanding the brain better could help millions, but at what cost? Are we risking humanity in the name of scientific progress?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, we do that does happen in order to advance science and advance our knowledge. But there's a lot of ethical considerations, like viral vector use in research. And here's the thing, right? Obviously, they're not going to be testing this on humans first, so they're going to be testing this on animals, so the animal welfare. And what about the long-term effects of manipulating these neural circuits, right? So again, just like any advancement that's coming that we talk about, there's going to be need for careful oversight and regulation of such research. But how much and how much does that hinder the development? I don't know.
Yeah, like there are some viruses that actually affect brain behavior positively, but the dual nature of those pathogens might serve as a key to unlock mysteries, but bridging that gap between disease and intelligence enhancement. So
Yeah.
Scary. As we look forward, we need to be mindful of the leaps in understanding shouldn't outpace the conversations about ethics. After all, with great power comes great responsibility. Sorry, Spider-Man. But it's true in neuroscience too. As we wrap up this mind-bending discussion, let me leave you with this. How do you feel about the idea of manipulating the brain with viruses to improve intelligence? Is it the next frontier in healing neurological disorders, or are we playing with fire? We'd love to hear your thoughts and predictions on this controversial topic. Oh, I didn't even change the banner for that. Oh, well. That's all right. You said Silicon Scoop, which is great. Let's jump in to this next one about, the school. Welcome back, tech enthusiasts. Picture this, a classroom filled with students, but instead of textbooks, they're glued to their screens, typing away while leveraging artificial intelligence to complete their assignments. Sounds like a futuristic utopia, but maybe not. A recent landmark ruling might just rain on this AI parade. A judge has ruled in favor of schools enforcing strict policies against the use of AI in academic assignments. So let's just say things are about to get interesting. What do you think's going to happen with this, John?
Yeah. So just for some context here, this is a federal ruling. So the federal judge ruled in favor of a Massachusetts school. I hate saying that state. That took disciplinary action against a student for using generative AI to complete an assignment. So the judge determined that Hingham High School likely acted within its authority, finding no evidence of impulsive behavior by school officials in their assessment of academic dishonesty. So some key points here is that the consequences imposed were not severe enough to exceed the school's discretion in such cases. Another student involved in the project, they also faced similar disciplinary measures, but did not file a lawsuit. And the ruling suggests that schools have significant latitude in enforcing academic integrity policies using AI. So this, like you said, it's a landmark case. Like this could influence high school policies and school policies within North America for sure. To what extent, I don't know, but so just to kind of give you guys some details, right? So the evidence suggests that they copied and pasted text produced by Grammarly.com. Not really, I guess Grammarly is an AI, but like not ChatGPT or anything like that. But the problem was this kid just copy and pasted it, and it gave references to fictitious books. So he just copy and pasted, didn't check his work or anything like that. So the AP English language teacher conducted a lesson on academic integrity and expectations regarding AI and use at the beginning of the course. So students knew, right? So they were advised against using AI without authorization or copying and pasting substantial texts into their assignments. So I'd like to focus on that for a second. It says substantial. So I'm guessing that, and this is just me, and I'd love to know your thoughts, but I'm guessing that, like, if just like how we use it, like if you use it for your entire output, that's not okay. Like use little bits and then make it your own. I feel like that's going to be what is going to be the norm going forward, and not this. And they're going to crack down a little bit more. But what do you think, Craig?
Well, the copied text included citations for non-existent books, which appears to be one of the things that AI is best at generating, references to things that don't exist and whatnot, including a book supposedly written by the author Jane Doe. So you sit back and say, my notes say that they don't say you can't, they don't explicitly say you can't use AI. But you got to draw the line somewhere, right? Like when it's homework, you have to do it. So it's for you and your brain to process and understand and research and to think through how you're going to structure your thoughts, how you're going to put the stuff on paper or on the computer. That is the value of doing that, not throwing it over to an AI unit. So my thoughts are you have to draw the line somewhere. And it's starting now that it's obviously not Grammarly just recorrecting it like we're used to on the page. There's obviously got some functionality where it's actually creating content.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So once it's creating your content, you're like, okay, is this cheating or is this not? And I think at some point, schools have to get on top of the fact that we're really trying to prepare you for the real world. So there has to be a switch from not allowed to use AI tools to using AI tools.
Yeah.
I just don't know where that happens.
Yeah.
Does it happen when you leave high school and go to college where you're allowed to use that? Because, once you start getting out there in the real world, you need to be using these tools to succeed. So where do you draw the line? So, this is essentially a nod to academic integrity, reminding students that using AI as a quick fix for their assignments might not put them on the honor roll, but on a fast track to academic dishonesty. We have plagiarism rules. How much of this is plagiarism? Is it plagiarism when it just randomly made up stuff that doesn't exist, like references to books? Like we had ChatGPT a while ago. Somebody submitted it as whatever evidence in a court case, and it cited all these cases that didn't exist in case law. You get in trouble when the content isn't right. So is it because it made up stuff? If it was accurately produced and it would look good, would it be okay? Or is it just any use of AI? Like we have to start figuring it out so people can know. I'm not up for somebody saying wait a minute, you can't lower my grade because no one said I can't use somebody, AI or someone else or whatever, to write this. It doesn't explicitly say somewhere that you can't take it home and have your dad write it for you, but
Yeah.
that's not what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So, where do you think that line should be drawn?
Well, that's the thing. This opens up a whole can, not just where the line should be drawn, but like because of Gen AI, because of all this technology, there needs to be a new approach to education. Like I'm sorry, the way that it's been going until now is not the right way. And like we covered those interactive textbooks, the augmented reality textbooks and stuff, right? So the question where the line should be drawn is just scratching the surface of this whole issue of Gen AI in education and Gen AI or machine learning in our lives, because it's changing the world as we know it. Why should it not change the education system as we know it?
Yeah, absolutely. And AI changing the education system, being a teacher, is different than AI being the student. This is the problem, I think,
Yeah.
when you start it having AI help teach you, because it can give quick examples, give customized learning experience, help you much better along, would really help like EAs in the classroom and might help with some of our teacher deficit problems. However, it's not an end all and be all, and the content and the AI has to be good for that to happen. So plagiarism has always been an issue. While it's fantastic a student get personalized learning experiences, educators are seeing a troubling trend that reliance on AI tools is eroding critical thinking skills faster than people's patience in a DMV line. So let's highlight the irony for a second. We bred AI to assist us in learning, and now we're grappling with it sabotaging the very essence of learning itself.
Yeah.
So with these stricter policies, students might have to shockingly hit the books and engage in actual research. What a novel concept. It's like telling a smartphone addict to go outside and play.
Yeah.
So we have to grapple with this. And I think, we need to learn critical learning skills that we need to understand ourselves, because we need to challenge the AI. We need to be able to go and create content outside of these things. But at some point, the education needs to switch to include those tools to create something better and bigger and go beyond what you can do as a individual.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
As we look to the future, it's not about throwing AI out altogether. It's about taming it like a wild stallion. The goal is to find a way to embrace technology responsibly, hands-on learning experiences, and maintain the charm of academic integrity every parent dreams of their children should have. If we play our cards right, the educational landscape could thrive where creativity meets critical thinking, and we might actually do away with the term study buddy, giving birth to collaborative learning partner. But here's a question for you, dear listeners. With the new restrictions on AI in academics, do you think it will lead to a renaissance in genuine learning, or simply a rebellion where students find more creative ways to cheat? Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation rolling, because in the world of education and technology, the plot is just beginning to thicken. Ooh, batteries.
Yeah. Salt batteries.
All right, let's talk about today. We're diving into a game-changing energy revolution that might just shock you. Literally, if you think lithium-ion batteries have been the undisputed champions of the energy storage ring, hold on to your seats, because sodium-ion batteries are here to sweep the mat. That's right, salt. What's going on with these salt batteries, John?
Yeah, and I know we've covered sodium-ion batteries in the past, but this is this article talks about that there's the advancements have made the sodium-ion batteries lower cost to manufacture, apparently. So They're emerging as promising alternatives to the lithium ion because they offer potential cost savings and reduced reliance on scarce material like lithium. Well, it obviously sodium is more abundant. So these batteries use sodium instead of lithium as the charge carrier, and that could lower production costs and also environmental impact. For those that don't know, sodium is about 1,000 times more abundant than lithium, and obviously it's widely available. So there are companies like CATL and BYD who are investing in this sodium ion battery development. But just for those of you that haven't listened to our podcast and haven't followed us, just to give you guys some advantages, right? It's a lower cost because obviously there's an abundance of sodium. It actually performs better in cold weather compared to lithium ion batteries, and it's potentially safer with a reduced risk of a thermal runaway. Now, the problem though is that they do have some limitations. They have a lower energy density compared to lithium ion batteries. What that means is you need more batteries to have the same energy capacity as lithium ion currently, right? That doesn't mean you can't advance technology with this. And it's currently suitable for applications that really don't require high energy density. So although they have the technology has advanced, it's still not to the point where it can compete directly with lithium ion. But I think this is a great advancement. I think this is a great technology that we should definitely keep our eye on. What do you think, Craig?
Absolutely, because it looks like this is the second generation. It looks like we're going to be seeing these in vehicles soon.
Yeah.
Typical. Go ahead.
What my thoughts are is storage solutions, large storage solutions instead of lithium ion. Like, we covered that lithium ion storage solution. What was it, in Guelph or somewhere?
Fergus.
Yeah, I think that this is a much better idea. So what if you have to have more batteries? I think it's safer for the environment, all that sort of stuff at the end of the day.
Well, they claim that the sodium ion battery has a 200 watt hours per kilogram, where the lithium ion is between 180 to nearly 300. So it's not quite the same. So you're right, it would be bigger.
Yeah.
From a battery perspective, and heavier in vehicles and whatnot.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but again, it reduces environmental impact from lithium ion mining. The other thing, and just like for those of you that don't really follow things, there's a lot of geopolitical tension around lithium resources. So if we can develop this, there's going to be a less tension geopolitically by using sodium for batteries, if that makes sense. And because sodium is more widely accessible, more widespread, there's better a chance for more localized battery production. So we can have Canadian battery production, US battery production locally without having to ship in lithium, right? Or without having to ship in sodium in this case.
Yeah, lithium ion batteries dominate today's market globally. This year, global production of lithium ion batteries was about 1,500 gigawatt hours, and the production of sodium ion batteries was 11 gigawatt hours, not 1,100, but 11 versus 1,500 gigawatt hours, or less than 1%. However, sodium ion batteries production is growing and is projected to hit 140 gigawatt hours by 2030, 13 times its current level, which is really not up there yet, but we're really getting there. 13 times its current production. So we're going to start seeing this.
Crazy.
Yeah. Sodium is everywhere, right? Like, it's just hanging out in the oceans and the salt flats. It's right under your feet. It's easy to extract. And so you could have that without the ramifications of lithium ion fires, the mining stuff that happens that's in less than ideal conditions. And here's the kicker: the costs. Sodium wonders are not just friendly to the environment, but they also pack a friendly punch to your wallet. The battery, that's the price. It's a fraction of the cost. So sodium ions move between anode and cathode, similar to a game of musical chairs. They're jumping back and forth. Instead of sitting down, they're busy storing energy. Recent advancements have enhanced their performance so much so that companies like Faradion and Natron Energy are treating them like the latest tech gadgets. Improved energy density and cycle performance. This sounds like an upgrade we've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, it does. And this isn't the only battery technology that is being developed. There's other ones. I think there was one even with air, or I can't remember, but not
Iron Air.
Iron Air. Yeah, Iron Air. Yeah, this is really interesting. So just so you know, the two big players, CATL and BYD. CATL in 2023 announced big plans for mass production of sodium-ion batteries, and BYD, apparently they're set to launch their first sodium-ion battery-powered vehicle in 2024, but we're almost at the end of 2024. So we'll have to see where they're at with that. I'm interested to know, but that's just from doing some research there that they were saying. So the two things is they're going to have to improve energy density and cycle life. That's the two biggest things. But again, this is where lithium ion was when it first was developed too. Like, it's come a long way, the lithium ion technology.
Absolutely. They're working hard on this, and it's come a long way. And I always throw out that old adage that in this world, there's liars, there's effing dirty cheating liars, and then there's battery engineers, because they're always lying about what they come with. So we always take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You ever worked on a technology project, the battery comes in not ever giving the performance you're looking for. So energy density, as you mentioned, remains a challenge. And while engineers are working hard on this issue, we're seeing even brighter future with sodium-ion batteries. So looking beyond 2024, we might just see sodium-powered marvels taking over the energy storage market. Imagine a world where you could power your gadgets sustainably without draining your wallet or the planet. So it sounds like very interesting alternatives that don't have the environmental impact that we can all use locally. So I'm really loving where it's going. It just have to increase the density. So, we're not going to have this in our cell phone. Otherwise, we're going back to the days of that big brick phone, right?
Yeah.
So here's something to ponder as we battery on. How do you think the rise of sodium-ion technology will change the landscape of our energy consumption? Will it lead to a more sustainable future, or can it only fill the gaps in our current shortcomings? Let us know your thoughts. All right, this one's funny.
I like this. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, let's just get it up here. Have you ever found yourself in a heated debate over something as trivial as pizza toppings? Well, WordPress just took the culinary quarrel and turned it into a viral brand engagement. Yes, you've heard that right. The popular content management system recently added a playful clause to their terms of service declaring the virtues of pineapple on pizza. An audacious move meant to mimic the beloved chaos of pizza conversations while also making legal mumbo jumbo slightly more digestible. So you have to agree to liking pineapple on pizza in order to use WordPress.
I don't mind that. I love pineapple on pizza, but yeah. So they added a mandatory checkbox to its login page requiring users to agree that pineapple is delicious on pizza. So it was implemented by Matt Mullenweg, who's the co-founder of WordPress and the CEO of Automatic, over the weekend. So apparently the checkbox appears to be a response to ongoing legal disputes, which we covered before. We didn't update you on, and I can't remember the latest update. There was something that happened last week. But the pineapple checkbox is just the latest development in this, like you said. So in September, Mullenweg criticized WP Engine in a blog post, accusing them of exploiting WordPress WP Engine responded with a cease and desist letter. Automatic blocked WP Engine from accessing core WordPress resources. And so recently the California court ordered Automatic to reverse these actions. So is this just a pissing contest, Greg, or like what are your thoughts here?
So, WP Engine is not WordPress, and Mullenweg,
Yeah.
So they received the cease and desist order, but he is refusing to cease or desist, and instead is doing a third thing, escalating. Automatic sent its own cease and desist back to WP Engine and updated his WordPress trademark policy to send a shot at the WordPress. The policy now notes that WP is not trademarked, but requests organizations not to use it in any way that confuses people. For example, many people think WP Engine is WordPress Engine and is officially associated with WordPress, which it is not. They have never once even donated to the WordPress Foundation, despite making billions of revenue on top of WordPress. So, this is a, peeing contest. But they're both, multi-billion-dollar companies in the end when you start thinking about it, even though WordPress is both open source and not when you're from a company point of view. And a lot of people have really started frowning on Mullenweg because of how he's handled this. But I don't know if WP Engine has come to the table to say, hey, let's figure something out here. But it's been escalated to the point where they probably can't come to the table now and say, let's figure something out, because we got judges and lawyers, and we're now doing appeals on last judgments. The judge demanded an end to the interference with WP Engine's access last week. So that's where we are right now, and WordPress powers an estimated 44% of all websites, and I use WordPress. And so there's shenanigans going on here. And for example, the one thing that's happened is WP Engine produces a WordPress plugin called Advanced Custom Fields. Because WordPress cut WP Engine off from submitting and making changes to the plugin, by rule, if you can't update your plugin, WordPress has the option to take that plugin over. So they just took it over. They cut them off and took it over and said, that's our plugin now.
Interesting.
And it's called Secure Custom Fields. And so that's part of this problem. They're doing some things that they shouldn't be doing. And I think, honestly, both sides are doing things they shouldn't be doing, though. I think Mullenweg is doing more intrusive and potentially illegal things.
Probably, yeah. And like I was looking at like what the community has thought about this. So some view it as harmless fun or a humorous response to the legal situation. Others are criticizing it. Obviously, it's unprofessional, potentially damaging to WordPress's reputation. And concerns have been raised about the impact on enterprise trust and the platform's image. Like all of this stuff that's happening, even though it's a fun little checkbox, whatever, it just shows the immaturity that's happening there, right? And so when you're front and showing some immaturity, people are going to question the company itself.
Well, I will take a different stance to you on this one.
Okay.
Where I think this particular liking pineapple on pizza checkbox was brilliant branding and marketing strategy just to get people talking about something other than the WordPress WP Engine drama. We're talking about this funny meme now of WordPress pineapple pizza. And if they were smart, they would probably join with a couple of national pizza company and offer some special deal of something and, really take the meme to the next level. But they're probably not smart enough, because this is just a funny meme where techies get talking about it. businesses don't give a crap, and it's the techies that are
True.
doing the WordPress, who are hosting the stuff. What the businesses care about is, wait a minute, what's going on with WordPress and WordPress engine? Is there going to be a lawsuit that affects my business, and should I be thinking of moving off it or not?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. I think this is just silliness, right? It's and savvy branding potentially. Brands that embrace humor benefit from enhanced user perception and community engagement. That's definitely something WordPress could benefit from right now. It's basically the digital equivalent of hosting a potluck dinner. So WordPress has cultivated a community where differences can spark laughter rather than arguments, proving that the shared experience of biting into a pineapple top slice can build camaraderie even among passionate pizza purists. And it's always a funny discussion. You go on any of these cultural things and there'll be a debate on whether Hawaiian pizza should be a thing, that kind of stuff. So it's polarized pizza lovers for decades. Think of the tech community's own cats versus dog debate, right?
Yeah.
So every discussion about pizza toppings uncover larger narratives about taste and preference, revealing a rich tapestry of background among users. So in a world where we often stick to our own little corners of the internet, these food-fueled debates are a gateway to understanding each other's cultures a little bit better, and maybe, lighten the world a little bit versus taking things a little bit seriously. So as we wrap up this delicious discourse on pizza and branding, let's ask ourselves, can humor really reshape the landscape of tech marketing? Was this a good idea for WordPress, or is it just muddying the waters with all the crap they have going on? Can humor really, can a silly clause in terms of service bring users closer together? What other food-themed debates might tech companies dive into next? Join the conversation and let us know your thoughts. Pineapple on pizza? Yes or no? And according to you, John, it's a yes.
Yes, for sure. Big yes. I love it. Yep.
To me, it depends if you're going to be eating it right away, because otherwise it's a little too soggy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So have you seen this $50 billion valuation? Did you ever think that the only thing that could overshadow a Tesla at a stoplight might be an AI revolution? Elon Musk's latest venture, XAI, has catapulted with a jaw-dropping valuation of over $50 billion in the latest funding round. It's like watching a rocket while simultaneously scrolling through TikTok. Exhilarating and slightly bewildering. So, what do you think about this XAI valuation?
Yeah, so it's hard for me to say. So just FYI, this is an older article from November 20th. So we're covering it now, just for those that don't know. This isn't like, this isn't new news as far as what we typically cover. But just so that people know, like, this was from November 20th. But
this article came out less than a month ago, and we're calling it old news.
We are, because things are moving so fast.
I know. I just wanted to laugh at it. That's all.
I know. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious that something came out a month ago is old news, because who knows? They could have raised another round by now, right? You don't know. But they haven't. But this is from November 20th. So you asked me, what do I think? So I haven't messed around with Grok yet. So I don't know, like, whether or not it's any good. Have you messed around with it at all? Have you played around with it yet, Craig?
I'm just starting to. I love Grok's image creation.
Okay.
And they don't give a crap about copyright, which is awesome. It's what users want. For example, this picture of Elon Musk here was created by Grok.
Wow. That's really good then.
Yeah, and I had a bunch of other ones. I was having fun with it. I've reached my free limit. Grok is free now, so everyone can go in and take a look at it. You don't need a premium thing. 50 billion, interesting. We know that OpenAI is worth over 100 billion now.
Yeah.
Maybe even 150 billion at this point. Is Grok as big? I don't know, but you
Oh,
see what's going on with Colossus, right? And it's the biggest AI data center in the world. And Elon keeps saying, and he's excellent face person who talks to investors and whatever. He claims he's going to win the AI revolution. So I could see why people are excited about this. And, Elon has proven that he can win in these challenging and competitive fields.
yeah. So here's the thing that worries me, and I don't know, but not worries me, but interesting. So, just FYI, some of the funding round are the big wigs. Like we're talking Sequoia Capital, Valor Equity, Anderson Horowitz, and Qatar Investment, right? But so with their valuation, they're now higher valued than Anthropic and Perplexity, which are two that I use on a daily basis, which I feel, and again, I haven't used Grok, so I feel they're much better. But again, how much of this is the value? The question to you, Craig, how much of this is in the value of the actual XAI technology, and how much of it is in Elon Musk's attachment to this?
And I'll add a third.
Okay.
How much is it to is it the user base he already has in X? Because
Oh, yeah,
you flip this on, we say, oh, we're not using this. Well, we are, just not the way you think,
yeah,
because
true.
it's behind X, and now everybody who's using X can use this, and for free before premium. So now you've got hundreds of millions of users overnight, and it can change the game pretty quickly when that happens.
Yeah,
So when this is free, you're saying, well, wait a minute, why am I paying for Anthropic? Why am I, and obviously there's paid tiers and whatnot. So it is a game changer. I have not tried the functionality specifically. I've just signed up for the APIs so I can start throwing queries at it and see what it
yeah,
comes up with from a writing perspective, from a creativity perspective, from as I use AI, I use ChatGPT a lot constantly. I have 2 or 3 ChatGPT windows open. I'm currently working, it's as a virtual assistant, as I chat with it all the time to help me create things, do things, think about things. Um, we'll have to see where XAI fits into all of that. But, you know, the $1 billion valuation doesn't come from thin air. It reflects a growing confidence in AI technology done right, and we're putting this behind XI's potential is buttressed by investors, like you mentioned, who believe it could innovate breakthroughs across numerous sectors, healthcare, automotive, finance, just to name a few. I saw this morning that Elon is talking about Xmail. He's going after Gmail now. So it's like you start putting all of that together, and you got a quick competition here. I think he's building an ecosystem around Twitter, which he's planned for a while.
yeah,
And if XAI is bolted naturally to it, that might give him a long-term advantage versus, say, somebody like Google, who is bolting AI on top of existing products
yeah,
rather than building it from the ground up. Same thing with Microsoft. I think we're going to end up with Microsoft, Google, Facebook, OpenAI, and X. I think the rest of them, major players, will disappear quickly.
yeah. So just
That
quickly,
includes,
have you heard what people are saying about Google's AI endeavors? People are saying they're the comeback story of the year.
well, yeah. If you've paying attention with Gemini 2.0, which we talked briefly about last week, but I've done a little bit more digging into because they just announced it that day or the day before. I hadn't looked at it. It is superior at a fraction of the cost, and a lot of people are loving it, especially if you're paying your $20 a month, you don't care. The cost comes in when you're calling the APIs, right?
Yeah,
Like if you're doing automation, it's only a fraction of a cent per call or whatever, depending on compute power. But once you start automating things, that starts to add up and add up. And you're saying, okay, this can respond it better than OpenAI, better than some of these other or just as good at 1/10 the cost. So now you
Yeah.
can do way more. And you're talking about 1/10 the cost. You've used coding tools to build apps before.
Yeah,
And that takes a lot of tokens.
for sure.
It's querying different things to create the code you want to do. And I'm just trying to lay the situation out there so people understand why there'd be so many API calls, why you would use all these things. So it's really curious to see where they're going to stand and where does XII going to fit into that cost model. So Google Gemini, we just our podcast on that where Google told people to please die has gone out there. It's moving along. All these things are moving along. And I'm really happy that they're competing at performance and cost, faster, better, cheaper, because that only means more for us, the consumer.
Yeah.
Who was it that said the future is here now? It's just not evenly distributed. Oh, that's William Gibson. Sorry. I was like, who said that? Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was William Gibson,
Yeah.
the author. And it's true because only so many people can afford to pay for, ChatGPT Pro at $200 a month, or to build these automated AI solutions that go back and forth. And as it goes down cheaper, where you're talking about $20 a month versus hundreds of dollars a month, all of a sudden it becomes you're democratizing compute power and AI automation, and that is exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, but with great power, like I said before, comes great responsibility. Ethical considerations surrounding AI are no laughing matter, and Musk, known for its outspoken views, emphasizes transparency, accountability, aiming to steer XI clear of dystopian scenarios we see in science fiction. He's trying to save the day in the realm of AI, whatever that means, right? Because I think he's the one we fear. Not, say what you will about Elon Musk, but did you watch that We Robot event and those hundreds of robots coming out that are going to be powered by XAI, all those Teslas that are going to be powered by XAI, and you sit back and say, he might just win the race. Like, they're going to be doing things that are crazy because of all the things they're doing.
Yeah.
And, when does Skynet take hold?
Exactly. That's the question. We're getting close. Especially there was these. We didn't cover it. I don't know if I posted the article. There's these new robots you can start buying next year that have basic tasks that they can do. You can start buying. So we're getting there, and it's scary.
So as we look to the horizon at the future of AI with XAI, one question emerges: how do we ensure that these intelligent systems not only innovate, but do so with humanity in mind? Will we wind up sharing our world with benevolent AI, or will we have to schedule a summit with them to keep the peace? Join the conversation. What are your thoughts on ethical dimensions of AI? And do you think XAI is set to become the next leader in this tech revolution? Love to hear your predictions. Did you, as we jump to this next one, did you see the Mark Andreessen interview with Joe Rogan?
No, I didn't.
Very interesting. He believes we have 5 years to create value now before AI completely takes over.
Wow.
And they're obviously Andreessen, one of the bigger investor, Andreessen Horowitz in AI and stuff. So you really need to start thinking about this when we talk about it. It's a really strong and powerful message.
Yeah.
All right, let me share this other one instead. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
That the error threshold on quantum computing has always been so high that it was sometimes hard to distinguish whether you got something right or it was just another error. Have you ever wondered what happens when a computer starts pulling off magic tricks? Now, I'm talking about pulling rabbits out of hats. I'm referring to dazzling the world quantum computing. Today, we're diving into the quantum realm to understand critical challenge that has researchers buzzing, the quantum computing error threshold. This is jumping on the superhighway. We used to be on a gravel road, and as soon as we can eliminate these errors, we're driving with gas now, and we can hit the speed limit. What do you think? Is this going to be a major breakthrough?
I think so. Yeah. I think this is a significant milestone. And just so you guys know, this is Google's quantum AI that's achieved this. So they can create more reliable logical qubit from multiple error-prone physical qubits, which is really crazy. So what it's called surface code. It's a quantum error correction method, and it's based on two overlapping grids of qubits. So one grid contains data qubits that collectively encode a single logical qubit, and the other grid, what it has is measurement qubits, which allow for indirect error detection without disturbing the computation, which is key here, right? So this is crazy because it has a higher error threshold around 1%, compared to earlier quantum codes. And it only requires interaction between neighboring qubits, which simplifies the implementation. So I feel like they've got a breakthrough here to get us to a quantum future. And they've demonstrated scaling in this too. So moving from a distance 3 to a distance 5 surface code, it reduced the logical qubits error rate by 50%. And further scaling it, have the error rate again. So this has huge implications. There are still some challenges, but yeah. So you're showing it there. What do you think about the impact on the timeline based on this breakthrough, Craig? For quantum, do you think that this is the game changer that we're waiting for, or what are your thoughts?
Well, it is a game changer. Is 50% enough? And are they going to be able to tweak it to get it down to an acceptable level? We are moving very quickly in the world of quantum, where I would have said a few years ago we were moving very slowly.
Yeah.
We're starting to see huge leaps. We talked about, I think it was last week, we talked about the Willow chip from Google.
Yeah.
And from the Sycamore branch and whatnot, and how they answered a problem that would have taken hundreds of years in a very short period of time. And they believe that it leveraged the power of the multiverse in order to solve this problem. Meaning that it tapped into whatever compute power in these other multiverses, talked to them, and came back and said, okay, this is how it works. So that's what the scientists are thinking is happening. And as soon as we can start getting a handle on these error thresholds, and we start looking at that, the whole universe potentially could change.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were just talking about this beforehand. There was a podcast that I was watching or listening to, and they were talking about the calculation to when quantum will break the Bitcoin or crypto encryptions. And they calculated it to be 2.5 years based on where we're at. That's scary. And that's a whole other can that we don't need to open right now, but yeah.
Absolutely. This is crazy. Navigating the quantum journey isn't all smooth sailing. Researchers have faced a tricky balancing act. They're trying to carry a stack of paper while walking a tightrope. They've got to ensure high qubit coherence while also taming those pesky error rates. While they're charged up for potential business applications, from revolutionizing pharmaceuticals to transforming finance. It's also crucial to remember that with great power, again, comes great responsibility. I got to stop using this quote. We must tread carefully to ensure that this technology does not fly off the rails in terms of ethical implications. We just talked about Elon Musk's XAI. We talked about Skynet. You know, I honestly think when quantum computing meets AI and robots, we're all doomed. So this is when, you know, we take that leap forward. But until then, and we don't have those things working together, this quantum computing is really going to change the way we look at the universe.
Yeah.
How physics works, how the universe puts together. We're going to discover what dark matter really is. Does it really exist? Does it not exist? Because I've seen some recent articles suggesting that it doesn't. So I'm amazed at where this is going, and I think this is the breakthrough that's going to help us take to the next level as we start looking at these types of different things for error correction. More and more are going to come to light. We're going to be able to use quantum computing to solve quantum computing problems.
Yeah.
So as quantum computing teeters on the brink of revolutionizing our world, how do you believe these advancements will shape our daily lives? Will it bring us closer to utopia? Are we opening Pandora's box in the tech world? Share your predictions. Let's spark the conversation about a fascinating journey of quantum computing. Did you want to end it there, John, or did you want to talk about this NVIDIA?
Let's end it there. I've got a busy day. As much as I would love to talk about it, Jesus.
All right.
You know what? Let's talk about it quick. Let's talk about it quick.
All right. Let's share this tab. Instead, we've got NVIDIA just announced this $249 Jetson Oron Nano developer kit to run AI. What's going on?
This is crazy. So it's a new device. They're targeting small companies and hobbyists. It looks like a Raspberry Pi or more robust Raspberry Pi to me, but it's designed to bring advanced AI capabilities to a broader audience, making it more accessible for smaller scale projects and experimentation. So apparently there's one before it, but this one nearly doubles the speed and efficiency of it. It can process about 70% more computational tasks compared to the previous model. And it represents, like, it shows that NVIDIA is trying to expand its reach beyond large tech companies, which is cool. What I wanted to know, and I couldn't find it, is how does this compare to like our laptops, right? Running M1, M3, M2, M3, M4 chips, which I don't know, but yeah, it enables more people to experiment with AI, right? What do you think about this little thing?
I love the concept. We were talking about it briefly. I think it's great. Up to 70% increase on AI compute across Jetson Orin NX and Orin Nano series. I'm curious to the same curiosity you have as to how powerful it is. Looks like these articles are pretty much the same, unfortunately. A new power mode which increases GPU and CPU clocks. They don't really tell us anything new, which I was trying to find. 70 teraflops tops at 25 watts, which is pretty power efficient. I would love to try this because I want to run more local models, and on my MacBook Air, running local models is really slow.
Yeah. So
I'm excited about this. If for $250 you can run some local models, even if it's just one, and train it, and call it from any sort of API to do it, all of a sudden it's a game changer. It's something that you could have for local organizations, small businesses, where you can keep your data private, have a fast response, and a local response. Your stuff's not going out on the internet.
Yeah, it's really cool. So like I tried to use AI real quickly to do a comparison, but it's really comparing the technologies. So like the CPU of the Orin is a 6-core ARM Cortex, where the Apple M1 is an 8-core CPU. The GPU obviously is an Ampere architecture with 1,024 CUDA cores and 32 tensor cores, whereas the Apple M1 has 8 cores and an integrated GPU. So obviously, just based on the CUDA cores and all that, way, like, it destroys it, obviously. And we knew that, but I was just curious how it compares.
And I'm curious to see how this performs. I'd love to see this it can run advanced AI models like Meta's Llama, making it a versatile tool, which is fantastic. And I think if it can run Llama reasonably well, then it will outperform my M3 MacBook with 16 gigs because Llama runs really slow on mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, for $250, hell, I'll get one and mess around with it for sure.
Absolutely. So this is a cool little gadget that I'm looking forward to trying.
Yeah, me too.
What do you got going on, John?
Yeah, just preparing for Christmas. That's it. And well, this will come out in the new year, but so looking forward to January 22nd. We've got
Art of Investor Drinks.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. Check out the new courses, TorontoStarts.com. By this time it comes out, we'll have the automated entrepreneur course out and ready. And there's a couple other courses there. Check that out. Go to startupcoach.ca if you're stuck in your business and you want to get 2025 off to a good start. Book a discovery call and we'll start working. And we'll see if I can help get you going. And John, you help people get non-dilutive funding.
Absolutely. Yeah. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, John Irwin, JONIRWIN, and book some time with me in the new year. And let's have a chat and how we can get you some funding to help your business.
Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, everyone.